Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I decided today that I'm going to upload a video about Meps and my experience with Meps. I know everyone's Meps is different because of the stations and the bases, but my Meps experience is coming from an Air Force Reserve, which is a little bit different from other active duties positions and things like that. So mine started out with, I met two other people from my recruiting office at my recruiter's office, obviously, and he drove the three of us to base. Our base is about an hour away from where we are, which is like the Philadelphia area, and we basically just got in a car, and he's like really cool, so he let us listen to whatever we want, and we kind of like just talked and laughed and just talked about how nervous we were. And you know, the recruiters, what they say, because they want their people to get in, is if you didn't remember before, don't remember now. Don't think about anything new. Just go in and don't be nervous, because they can tell like when you're nervous. So we drove there, and it took like an hour. We finally got there, and it started to become real, mainly because we went in on the Army side of the base. So it was just like, bruh, what did I get myself into? Because the Army side of the base that I am stationed is completely different from the Air Force side. So I was like, whoa. It was definitely a culture shock. It looked like almost nothing, but it's not the point. And so we drove there, we got through. He was telling us not to be nervous and just to get it done, and if we can't, we always have like a second chance. So we go in. We had to take off all jewelry. We had to make sure our outfits were appropriate. Then we went into some like cubby room and put all of our stuff in there, from like our phones and our anything that we brought to take to Meps, because we were actually going to stay in a hotel because we live so far. So we put them in the cubbies, and then we went to go check in and get our like fingerprints and stuff like that. So after that, we went to the third floor of the Meps station, or the Meps building, and we took a test. We had to stand in a line outside. There was already people in there taking it, so we had to wait for the proctor to come outside and give us directions. And he was kind of rude, but still, I wasn't worried about it. I was just worried about taking the test. I was like, hey, anything to delay me from taking this test right now, because I'm not mentally in it. So I started taking my test, and I get through the sections. I second guessed myself the entire time. I did not think I knew what was going on, but I think that was just the nerves, like, just kicking in, and a little tad bit of anxiety, just like, are you sure this is the answer? Like, if you don't get this right, you gotta come back in a month. So like, listen, do what you gotta do. And so I took the test, and then once I was done the test, he dismissed us to go to this room. Like, because I was staying in a hotel, we had to go wait in a room downstairs and wait for enough people to get done. And there was these I distinctly remember, like, now that I did the depth tag, I should have remembered this for the most memorable part at Meps. But there was these two girls there, and I guess they were Army Guard, and they failed. So every person that walked into this room, they literally hound them about their scores. Like, what'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get? Oh my God, I failed. This is the second time I failed. This is the third time I failed. Like, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to wait another month. Like, literally getting down and making me feel like I didn't do good. I don't know. So they just made me even more nervous for my score, because my recruiter told us that we were not allowed to look at our scores until we got in the bus, because if they find an open envelope, they'll take our scores and rip them up. Sorry, my phone died. So after that, what happened? So I ended up actually looking at my score in that room, because I couldn't wait. And I got a low 70s, and I was proud of myself, but then I was scared to do anything else, so I hid my envelope under my leg because I didn't want any of the they were like loud kind of, and they were like putting their feet like on the chairs and stuff like that. So the army guy that was, I would guess, in charge at the time came in the room and said, like, he kept coming in the room to technically like get on them basically. So I like hid my answers under my leg, and I was just smiling from ear to ear watching this. Like, we're watching like Dateline 2020 in there. I don't know why, but that was their channel that it was on. So we're watching Dateline 2020, and I was just smiling watching this like murder show, which sounds so bad. Was it murder? I don't know. It was like something, husband doing something to the mom. Like, I don't know. So it was a good 45 minutes to an hour, maybe 30, maybe like an extra 30, like an hour 30 passed because we had to wait. We were the second group of people going to the hotel, so we had to wait. And so we're waiting, and we got done, and we were just like, I seen the two people that I came with, and I was like, how do you think you did? How do you think you did? Are you sure? Like, okay, we all did it. Like, that, because that was the only thing we were kind of nervous about besides like the actual physical part. Well, we were nervous all around. But so we get in the van, and this is where everyone was looking at their scores. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, certain branches you won't get your scores. Your recruiter calls you and tells you what you got. So I know I looked, there was like, I think the lowest person in on the van that we got that passed was a 61. And I think that was one of the girls that I came with. And then the guy ended up getting like a 71. He got the job that I wanted, but not the point. And so what happened? So we're on the bus, and two people got phone calls that they did not pass, which was crazy because, if I'm not mistaken, one of them already took it. So I think if you failed twice, you had to wait 6 months. And so we get to the hotel and we do a briefing, and the guy that did our briefing, well, long story, we go into, I guess this floor was specifically for military. Like, I won't say the hotel just because when we were there we weren't allowed to talk about it when we were downstairs, but the hotel for the base that I was at was like 45 minutes away from the actual base, and there was one floor like just for military. So we get there and we go into this room, and it had all the branches, like what are they called, seals on the walls. Like, it was very military. And there was, on this side, it was like a big huge TV with with like Xbox and PS4 that people that already were there were playing, and then like big recliners that we had to sit in while we had like this 30-minute briefing. And so we go downstairs. Well, no, we were still in a briefing, and we did attendance. And the two, if I'm not mistaken, the two Marine guys who didn't pass had to, like, they didn't even pass to get infantry, but they, yeah, so that, it was like really bad fail, and they had to, their recruiter picked them up, and they had to go home, which was like, I was like, oh like, wow, if I didn't pass, I could have went home. Like, this is crazy. And so it made me even more nervous because I realized that it was like no games. It was like, listen, this is a business, in and out. Like, if you don't pass, there's somebody waiting for your spot. And I was like, what the? So after the briefing, we got our room. I was in the room with a Marine girl, if I'm not mistaken. She was really nice, and she was really sweet, and she was telling us about how it was like in her blood to go Marines. So I was like, whoa, I don't have this. I have a couple uncles that were Marines, but that's as far as military goes in my family. And she was just telling us about how her uncle was a Marine and was telling her all this stuff that made her really want to join. And I was like, you're going to do so good. Like, kudos to you. So afterwards, after we got settled, we went downstairs to get something to eat. It was like us two, and then her. Then this other girl who was from our area, but she went active, and then the girl that I came with. So it was four of us, and we went downstairs to eat. And I hear so many stories about how Meps was like had like really good food, so eat there at your last good meal. Not the case. I guess since we were such a big area, because if I'm not mistaken, the base that I stay at is covers New York, New Jersey, and a part of Pennsylvania, like the Philly area. So they made it buffet style, and that's just how we had to eat. And so we ate, and everybody was in this like game room afterwards. But I was like, listen, I'm not going to, like, I'm just gonna eat and go to sleep. Like, I have to wake up at 4:30. No, matter of fact, I have to wake up at 3:30 to get ready. So it was already 8. It was by this point we ate, and it was 8 o'clock. And this one girl was just like, let's go work out. I said, no, I'm not going to work out with you, because if something happens and I get disqualified tomorrow, I'm going to be so mad. And so we go. I went back to the room with the Marine girl, and I totally forget her name. But if you're watching, good luck, because I know that she had to finish school first, and I know school's finished, so she's probably leaving right now. And so what did we do? We went back to the room and went to sleep. I made the biggest mistake, and I fell asleep. I took a shower and I fell asleep at like 9:30, which means I woke up at like 1-ish, 2 o'clock. And I was like, what the? Like, you don't understand how many times I said WTF those 2 days. I said it so much. So I didn't really get to sleep. I think I fell back to sleep at like 2:45, 3-ish, which was like okay. Like, I didn't know what I was expecting, but I was like, at least you got some sleep. And so I fell asleep at 9, woke up at like 12:31-ish, went back to sleep at like 2:45, 3. So we woke. Our alarms went off, and we all thought that we were going to get a wake-up call. That's what we were told, and it didn't happen. So we woke up our alarms went off at 3, but no, our alarms went off at 3:15, 3:20, or something like that. But like, we heard nothing at the door, like absolutely nothing. We had to be downstairs at 4. We had to be downstairs at 4. So what did we do? Oh, so we just laid there kind of, and then at 3:30 we both just like, okay, we're just going to get up. And once we got up, we started getting dressed and like packing up our stuff, because we weren't going back. Sorry, orange juice needed. And so we got dressed, and we met everybody downstairs in the lobby at 4 a.m., like 4 o'clock. And we were just waiting there, like no one knew what we were supposed to do. So it was like 50, 60 kids just sitting in this lobby, but it was 4 o'clock, so no one was up. And we waited till 4:30 to go into get food all together, because we had to wait for like this guy who was in charge of us. And so we go and we all eat, and we sit there and we're all like nervous watching what we eat, because it was like, if you drink this, your blood sugar is gonna go up. If you eat this, like, your blood pressure is gonna be up. Like, so I think I had like water, 2 cups of water, orange juice or apple juice, like 1 piece of bacon. Like, it was like small, and a lot of fruit. So I don't know if that was healthy or not. Oh, I had potatoes too, so I don't know. But after that, we go to Meps. And when you're in the reserves, you actually have to kind of wait in the back all the time, because you aren't shipping out, you aren't swearing in. So those people always have to go first because those are people who are going to be swearing in and chipping out. So their first priority. Like, you're not really. Because we don't swear in at Meps. We swear in outside of Meps with our recruiters at the closest base. Something along those lines. And so we swear in. The next time I swear in will be at graduation. So after that, we got checked in. We started doing the stations. I started out with blood pressure, hearing, and then eyes. When I was in the blood pressure, we had this guy that was really scary. When I was doing here, I sat at the furthest end and I just pressed that button. Like, I kept pressing. I did not know if I heard it or not. Did not know if it was in my head or not. But I just kept pressing because I just thought that was the best way to go. And then I did eyes. And I had to do my eyes over because one of the people didn't write down my depth perception, which I passed. I got like the F, which is weird because that means you passed 100%. But yeah, I passed that and I did the eyes. And then after that, we had a briefing, and you know, that briefing about how they tell you not to lie because you can go to jail. And I mean, I didn't have anything to lie about, but like, I still felt nervous. I was like, I'm not going to jail. Like, what if something happened when I was a baby and I don't know about? And then after that, we did the urine test and I held my pee all day. So I was like in that briefing, like dying. But I think I even did my blood work first and then I went to go pee. And yeah, passed all those, I guess, since I qualified. And then after that was the examination part. If I'm not mistaken, it was the examination part. And we went to the room, and you know, girls, you have to strip down to your bra and panties. And there was only 7 of us, so it went by like this. And I got my height and weight done. And I found out that I'm 20 below and 20 above for my, like, I'm dead in the middle. And I'm also like a 1/4 of an inch too short of the job that I wanted. And then I think I went to do the doctor's interview first. So the doctor, this is like the part that everyone's scared of. He just asked me the same questions that was on the thing, made sure I told the truth. And then he did, like, for the females, he kind of just like pressed your breast, like, I don't know. He pressed it. He went like really, like, everything was like 2 seconds. It like was uncomfortable because he was like an old male, but like the lady in there made me feel like better. And he asked me about my tattoos because he wanted to see them and how small they were. But I have like 5 and they're all like really small and you can't really see them. And then after that, we did the like duck walk part, which was like weird because like, I don't know, I'm kind of uncoordinated. So the duck walk made me like kind of like shake a little bit, and I thought I was gonna fall for that, but I didn't. And so after that, we were basically done. Yeah, we were done. And I had we went to the desk and kind of checked, and then we had to go downstairs and check into the liaison's office, but I didn't, so I just took a nap. And then I ended up leaving and going to my recruiter. Like, I left a couple, like, an hour or 2 later because one of the guys had like 1 million people, so their process was going to take longer regardless. And everyone, I think the one girl that I was with, she didn't like qualify, but she qualified again. Like, they sent it to somebody and she qualified again. And the guy qualified. And so we went back to the office. He let the girl leave because he couldn't do anything at that point. So me and his name is Tom. Hey, Tom. We kind of just like waited. I mean, we picked our jobs that we wanted. And my recruiter really tried to fight for me to get the job that I wanted, but it was too late. So after that, he had to fight for my job because I didn't really want to be personnel. I didn't want to be security forces. I couldn't get any flight jobs because I was too short. But now that I'm in, I found out that there's like tests that you could have taken to get around that height problem. So I picked my job and he fought for it. I had to wait like a week to find out if I got it or not, because he had to fight with two different bases. Not fight with, but ask two different bases if they had the option of bringing me in, which was like Dover and McGuire. And that was pretty much it, I believe. And then I had to do like the security thing afterwards. But I've been in, I think all that stuff was done by the end of February. So I started my DTF, which is development and training flight, the first week of March. So that's pretty much my Meps story for a female. I don't know if it's like in depth or not enough for you, but if you guys have any questions, you can just ask me. I know this video is like really long, but any more questions, if I can go in depth, just ask in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to my new channel, and it's pretty much it. If this helped, give it a thumbs up, and have a good day, guys. And I hope I helped you with your Air Force journey and questions.